Man, it has been forever. And we're back! Hey, everybody. I love that. Leave them hanging. Leave them hanging, then just kind of even it out. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Banter podcast. I am Tim, and as always, I am joined by my lovely co-host. It feels nice to say that again, Kevin Bradley.
How's it going, man? It's been far too long.
Yeah, I think we're going on freaking 3 months now since we've recorded. Life's just been crazy.
It definitely has. And I mean, it was weird because we even kind of got into that the last show. We were like, I know we've been really hit or miss, but things ramped up at the start of the new year, and they haven't stopped. So it's good to be back, though.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's we're doing it again. We're doing it off the cuff. We haven't. When was the last time we did show notes? It's been a long time since we've kind of prepped for the show.
Definitely has.
And it feels better that way.
But with 3 months hiatus, I think we've got more than we can talk about.
We've done a lot of internal preparation.
Yeah. If I had to make show notes tonight to catch up for 3 months worth, I'd be.
Okay, so for the next 6 hours, we're going to be talking about. I really want to talk about Donald Sterling for the next 6 hours. I just want to talk about racism in sports.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. No, as always, go find us, follow us, tweet us, hashtag us before, during, after the show. Kevin, where can they find you at?
You can find me at _ARC1TECT. What about you?
You find me at my name, that is TIMHERB. And
get the fuck out of
gotta love it. You know what else you gotta love? The fact that we're both using Microsoft hardware right now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's as uncommon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe in particular, like that we're both using Microsoft tablets.
Yeah, we're both using the Microsoft Surface Pro, the first generation. But that also, it's kind of a lead-in to what I wanted to talk about. Kind of one of the big things with both of us over the past couple months. I guess we've both picked up another piece of Microsoft hardware. You talked about it a little bit last time. Whenever, the last show 3 months ago, I think maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a
I don't know.
Titanfall.
Did we?
No, I guess it's been about a month because
Titanfall hadn't come out at that point.
No, I thought we had a show with whenever I had gotten Titanfall.
Maybe we did.
So it's been about a month.
Oh.
But I don't think we uploaded that one to iTunes
right.
because it was just Titanfall. I could be wrong though.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe I'm just losing track of time, I guess. And look, you're right. It
feels like a year.
Yeah, looking at YouTube, it looks like we've done one show per month over the last 3 months. Yeah, it's been quite a while. For some reason, February stuck out to me, and I'm not sure why. One of those episodes did not end up on iTunes due to poor audio quality, but yeah, man, we've been gotten to play a little bit of Titanfall together.
Yeah, and back to your point. So, what'd you recently get? I guess.
I bought an Xbox One. I got a Magical Goodies creator while I was at the airport one day, and
credit card?
Yes, that is correct. It's no, so I got a Delta Sky Miles card, so I travel a lot for work, so take advantage of that. Do that for the honeymoon, whatnot. So we went and bought an Xbox One, the Titanfall package, NBA 2K14. Starting to lose track of those, and then also we bought Child of Light the other day.
Nice.
Which I've not played. I've been playing mostly basketball and getting frustrated, but no, it's been a good experience. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I know that you were saying probably to hold off on getting it, but I don't know. Time seemed all right to get it. It actually wasn't even my idea, so that's always a good thing. So
well, I just mainly said that because you said you were going to get Titanfall on PC, which you did.
Yeah, which I did. And it sucks. But the thing is, though, is that I didn't pay anything extra to get it on Xbox. It was the same price as if I was going to get an Xbox One. So So yeah, I did buy it on PC. Can't trade that in. Does anybody want to buy my Origin account by chance and get access to my my Titanfall? It's the only thing on there. You're essentially buying Titan. Do you think EA would come after me for that?
I don't know. Probably not.
change the login name for somebody and change the password and sell it to them. No, but yeah, we've gotten a chance to play. We've both been super busy, but we have gotten a chance to play a couple games together of Titanfall, and it's per usual domination.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think we went the other night whenever we played. I don't think we lost the entire time we played.
Yeah, I think it was like 5 or 6 straight victories. It's fantastic. That game is so freaking fun. I just wish we had more people to get involved in it because it kind of sucks having 2 out of the 6 and not nobody else talks on that game anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
And then you've always got that one person in your lobby that's bitching because nobody's talking.
uh,
That's
yeah,
it's like that one awkward friend that complains about not getting invited places. Like complaining about something not happening isn't going to make it happen.
yeah, that's true. There's probably a reason it didn't happen. So there's probably a reason people are in parties and not talking in the lobby. But yeah, it's been super fun, man. It's such a good game. The DLC comes out soon, right?
Yeah, this month. I'm not
Yeah.
sure the exact date. I'll probably get Seasons Pass soon. I've just finished Child of Light today. So
Oh shit.
yeah, I think it ended up taking me right at 12 hours. And
Which was the estimate, yeah. Which is
yeah,
crazy because it's a $15 indie game.
yeah, and I've still got a ton of stuff I want to do. Like I just played through it on normal mode, so I'll probably play through it again. It was really fun. For those who don't know, it's a side-scrolling turn-based RPG that Ubisoft put, or Ubisoft. I think it's like one of their. Uh, I guess they have like an indie games department, which I didn't know. But they put it out, and it's all like hand-done artwork, and it's like a fairy tale that revolves around this girl character that dies and then wakes up in this fairy tale world, basically. So it's pretty neat. It's very Final Fantasy-esque in that you get people that kind of join your team as you go throughout the game and constantly swapping out and stuff like that. And they all have different abilities and stuff like that. So it's good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got to watch Clarissa play it for a little bit last night. It's kind of cool the way you can sit there and switch out characters in battle and not lose turns
Yeah, yeah, and it's
and
all based on timing rather than just a
yeah.
set. Like, yeah, it's weird though. Like it's actually you can actually visualize what those numbers mean essentially. Like that's probably my biggest issue with most turn-based RPGs. I mean, even Pokemon to some regard is like even if you know that you have X amount of speed points, you don't know what that really equates to competition. So in Child of Light, there's a bar at the bottom of the screen, and you see each one of the characters on the battlefield, and they progress along this timeline. And then if you attack them whenever they're in a certain portion of the timeline, like the casting period, it'll knock them back and stuff like that. So you can actually gauge if you're faster than this person, how much, what you need to do to set them back and stuff like that, which I really like, and I really enjoy that a lot more than just oh my speed is this, my defense is this. You
Yeah.
know, what does it really mean? So
Yeah, that definitely adds an interesting dynamic, kind of something different. It's kind of like a mixture between, well, I guess I wouldn't say Eastern or no Western RPG because there's no like first person element to it. That's more like Fallout, but it's definitely a different take on on an Eastern RPG turn-based style. Like I've never I don't think I've ever seen a um, side-scrolling turn-based RPG like that.
yeah, dude, the artwork in that game, and again, we kind of talked about this before with indie games. It's like you kind of have to have that to really set yourself apart, and that's what I liked about this game more than just about anything. Aside from its like reimagining of turn-based RPG, but its artwork and each one of the environments are sort of areas that you go throughout the world are so significantly different, but they are all tied together with this really cool sort of watercolor hand-drawn art style, which I really liked.
Yeah, that's cool, and that's definitely one of the things. Whenever we're talking, I think a couple months ago, whenever I played Bastion, that was one of the big selling points to me for Bastion. I think everything's hand drawn in that game, and it's just the level of detail that goes into, such a low price title. I think I bought that for $2.50,
Yeah.
and I mean, just the level of detail that's put into it is incredible, and it just completely adds to the experience. It's cool. I wish more companies did that. I feel like, I mean, is Borderlands? You think about cel shaded games. Like Borderlands, that's not hand drawn, is it?
I mean, I think it's probably more computer generated, but I think of an artist actually does it and then they map that texture over the character models. But it's got a little bit more of a hand drawn feel to it than I don't know. I guess all textures are kind of hand drawn to some aspect. Well, I guess not, because some of the ones in like Fallout and stuff are probably based off of actual textures like rock or whatever, and then they just
Yeah.
kind of infill it. But yeah, I think cell shaded is probably closer to hand drawn than
Yeah, and that's one thing
not.
I wish we'd see is like the level of detail put into Child of Light or details put into Bastion on like a
Yeah.
higher scale on a cell shaded, first person shooter, cell shaded RPG or something like that. I
Yeah.
think it'd be really cool.
I
Um,
just love that feeling of game. A lot like Limbo in that way too. It reminds me of like playing Super Nintendo games that were really fun to play. You know, like playing Lion King. That was always one of
oh
my
my
favorite
God.
like side-scrolling games. The game was so unbelievably fun.
It was hard
And
as shit though.
yeah, but having that element of that side scroller or Turtles in Time or what have you, all of those games really brought something new to it. And so seeing people kind of reimagine that, and that was the other thing similar to Limbo in that fact too, that each one of the worlds kind of brought a different hazard or obstacle to the character that you could get through or get past. Also, there was a lot of small. They weren't overly hard, but there were small puzzles and stuff throughout, which I
Yeah.
enjoyed as well. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's fantastic. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I've like I said, I got Rise in the mail. What was that? 2 days ago? I got it on Tuesday.
nice.
That game is free. That game's beautiful, man. And it's
Yeah.
like, and I was gonna say one thing before on Child of Light is that you think those kind of games, like next generation consoles, would not, add to them at all. But I don't know, like, or that those games wouldn't belong on next generation consoles or what have you, and that those graphics, are
Yeah.
fine on 360 or whatever. It looks incredible. Like
Yeah.
the lighting, like we're talking about the hand-drawn stuff, the lighting, all the graphics put into it. It just that system that definitely does the game justice, I think,
Yeah.
and vice versa. But
Yeah.
um,
I definitely think it's obviously more so on the Rise or Titanfall or whatever, but yeah, I definitely agree.
yeah, yeah, Rise. That game is that's definitely I understand the whatever complaints or comments about it being a tech demo because that thing is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
How that game, yeah, it's just the graphics are unbelievable in the game, and whether it's the textures, whether it's lighting, whether it's face mapping, whenever they're talking, just how just how accurate everything is in that game. I can't speak to lore, but in terms of graphics and physics, everything seems to flow really well. Everything reacts really well. You think sometimes those games can feel probably a little clunky. I don't know if you ever got that feel with maybe the first Batman Arkham game. Whenever, just for instance, like if you're going to counter somebody, sometimes there'd be a little bit of a delay or something like that. But with this, it's like spot on exactly whenever you go to counter somebody. It's you turn and hit. It's pretty damn fluid. It's
Nice.
nice. Only about an hour and a half into maybe about an hour and a half into it. It's been fun though. I mean, a lot of the complaints about it being repetitive, I could probably say the same thing for the Arkham games, just due to the fact that the Arkham games is X and Y essentially whenever you're in battles. Everything else, at least for me, I used mostly during exploring and during
Yeah.
puzzles and all that stuff, like all the tools and all the gadgets, all that stuff. I use that outside of battle, but like there's more to it, I think.
Well, I think that was the one thing that Arkham Origins, or well, Arkham City to some extent, but I got into it a lot more with Arkham Origins, was how they linked in the gadgets and stuff more into the combat.
The
So
quick access stuff.
yeah, yeah, and they found different ways to utilize it, which I really started using a lot more to link combos and stuff like that. But I agree. I mean, it really is two buttons for the most part.
Yeah.
Including different enemy types and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. That's the same way Rise is, and that's why I figured whenever we first talked about it after they showed it at E3, like people complaining about QuickTime events, it looked a lot to me like Arkham Origins, and you
yeah,
played it a little bit on the demo. It's very similar in the way that you battle, but it's also hard as shit. Like, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty until you unlock the last one, but
Hmm.
it's I've died probably 4 or 5 times already. I mean, it's tough. I mean, to say it's repetitive and easy is kind of, or they're not necessarily the same thing.
I got you.
Yeah, so no, looking forward to finishing that game though. That and NBA, the graphics on them, they put a shitload of detail into them. They're crazy.
Yeah. All those sports games, man, they always find a way to put in an excessive amount of detail into those character models.
And usually an excessive amount of sweat. And I remember whenever the 360 came out and FIFA was one of the launch titles. It was actually, I think it was FIFA. I want to say it was World Cup. No, maybe it wasn't. But they had what looked to be like a sheen of piss over every single one of the characters. It was just like the character looked infinitely wet. Like it was like the sweat wasn't coming off. And the same thing for the NBA game. It's funny because NBA 2K, I'm trying to think of what that would have been. 2K6 maybe that came out on the 360. It was one of the launch titles. That was the best. Those were the best graphics I'd seen up until that point. And it's funny because they started off like pretty much during the whole game with sweat on their face, and it's like go ahead and get a jump start, and go ahead and get that on them so people would see it. And no, it's just insane. Like I don't know, you get the feeling Titanfall to me. I don't know if the graphics were as optimized as the gameplay is. I think the gameplay is, to me anyway, I think the gameplay is like head and shoulders above the graphics in terms
I
of
agree.
the scene, that what effort they put into it, and I think
I
that's
agree with that.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I think that's way more important for a multiplayer game,
I agree with that.
but I mean, it's just crazy. I don't know about you so far, but like for me to see the launch titles this pretty makes me hopeful that they could get them a little more fine-tuned, but then start adding a lot more gameplay to them. Because a
Yeah,
lot of the big complaints, as always with any new system, is that the gameplay is too short.
yeah.
And they're going to find a way to optimize that. They got to find a way to cut down on the amount of space that a game takes up. I mean, what was it? Titanfall's 39 gigs,
Yeah.
something like that. It's something insane. Rise was only 7, and it only took a little bit to install, but the other two games took forever because of how much storage they take up.
Yeah, yeah, and the flip side of that is your hard drive's about 350 gigs, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can conceivably have how many is that? 8 games, something like
Yeah.
that. And honestly, how many times are you rotating out 8 games at any one
Oh,
time?
you're
You can
not.
always reinstall it. So, but I agree, it definitely that first time you play it is kind of a bummer to have to boot it up. But
Yeah.
I'll take that over having load screens regularly. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. That's one of my biggest complaints, though, about NBA is there's some weird glitch where whenever you first start the game up, like initially, whenever you first buy the game and start it up and install, there's like this minute-long cutscene to start the game, but every subsequent restart of the game, you have to watch it. It's
Ugh.
really annoying. Apparently, there's some setting for the system that's like auto on or always on or something like that you could turn off, I think, to get it to stop. But I
See,
don't
that's
know.
what I did. That was what was good about Child of Light is like I know a lot of people were complaining because it prompts you for the Uplay and DLC stuff at the beginning, but I just have it to where I just turn off my Xbox, turn it back on, and I'm right where I left off in the game. Like,
Yeah,
that was it.
that's the same thing that happened to me. Like I
It's
got
a
in,
very easy fix.
yeah, I got in from soccer tonight, turned on my Xbox, and I went to Rise, and it was in the middle of where I was exiting last night. It was like, "Are you sure you want to exit?" I was like, "Oh, no, I don't want to exit. I want to go ahead and start again. I'm in the middle of gameplay."
Yeah,
It's kind of awesome. But I've also been using it as my set-top box too. So
nice. How are you
yeah,
liking that?
I dig it. For the most part, the channels that we watch regularly are accessible through voice. So um,
That's probably my biggest problem with it is that ease throw it off very much so.
uh,
So like HGTV, MTV, ETV, like
yeah,
fucking forget about it.
yeah. I won't lie. I mean, it's the yeah, a lot. Some of the voice commands, some of the stuff you want to watch, like Food Network or something like that, it's not going to find. But um, which
The
for
ones
me,
that actually you can enunciate, like Comedy Central, FX, stuff
yeah,
like that, it'll pick those up pretty well. But
yeah,
but they're going through a big revamping with that right now. I guess they're calling for like you can opt in to the Connect optimization or something like that they're supposed to be rolling out with the new update, so that it's constantly like, I guess Major Nelson posted something that the more voice inputs it has, the better at speech recognition it's going to be. So you can opt into it like collecting your voice data basically, so it has a bigger archive of
Ooh.
enunciations, so that it's better as a whole. So, but I'm sure people will say, no, I don't want people fucking.
Yeah. I will say I do like using it for my set-top box because we have a surround sound system. So instead of having to switch inputs, I don't ever have to switch inputs now.
Yeah.
And I just turn my sound bar on, and then I tell the Xbox to turn on, and my TV, like, I can go to cable immediately, and I can just use my cable remote if I don't feel like, if I have to access my DVR. It's not that big of a deal to me. It's the same thing without having to switch inputs and all that.
Yeah.
So that works for me. And I find I might sign up for that Connect optimization shit. That sounds awesome. That sounds a lot.
So, speaking of sounding awesome, did you happen to catch any of the stuff for Sunset Overdrive today?
No, I did not.
Yeah, they leaked. Well, not leaked, but they put out game footage, and they put out more details about the game, basically. Like,
is this what I'm seeing on? Because I had the Xbox One page up with upcoming games, and Sunset Overdrive, I'm looking at their page right now. There's a video on there.
Yeah, they actually have a video of some of the gameplay and stuff like that, and talking through like some of the weapons and things that you'll see in the actual game, which is great because all we really got was that CGI trailer, and they even said that at the beginning of the video, like, so far all you've seen is a CGI trailer or something, so now we're going to show some actual gameplay, and so they're traversing the environment and stuff. The best way I can describe it is Dead Rising meets Tony Hawk and Ratchet and Clank.
Okay, wait, go back a second. What did you just say?
Dead Rising, in that it's a post-apocalyptic game, but the, like, creatures or whatever, the monsters, they're all, I guess what brings on the apocalypse is this energy drink, and so
of course.
It's open world, and it's populated with zombies, for lack of a better term, just like Dead Rising in that aspect, and the weapons are very over the top, much like in Dead Rising, but the actual, like...
Over the top as in Ratchet and Clank.
Well, yeah, exactly, which is what Insomniac did that game. So That's why I kind of brought in Ratchet and Clank, and then Tony Hawk, in that it's got very similar mechanics. Like, instead of using a skateboard, you're like grinding on power lines and rails and stuff like that. And very like vibrant, spray painted, punk rock sort of feel to it, which is really, I from what I saw of it, I'm interested to see what it is, and I'll definitely be checking that out. And it's supposed to be coming out still. I think it's still slated for this year, which will be great. Yeah, I said fall 2014, so we'll see.
I'm trying to think of what else I saw for November. Oh, and that's the reason I had that Xbox page pulled up, is the upcoming games. The new Call of Duty Advanced Warfare comes out on in October or November.
I heard some things about that, and it's like, how close are they going to try to get this to Titanfall?
Is it futuristic, I'm guessing?
Oh, yeah. Like, they've got, I guess, like exoskeleton suits or something like that in it.
Well, hey, the more the merrier, I guess.
And I'll watch it just because Kevin Spacey's in it, apparently.
Nice. Dude, the Sunset Overdrive trailer looks crazy. Or not trailer, the gameplay footage looks insane.
Yeah, so I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun.
The visuals look pretty good, the graphics and everything, and it looks like it plays pretty smoothly. Even probably it's in pre-alpha probably right now, so...
Yeah, and speaking of which, I think beta for Destiny has been announced for July.
Dude, of course, I saw it a couple minutes late. They posted on their Facebook page a bunch of codes to get it. I was like, you motherfuckers.
Well, you can just pre-order the game and get access to it.
I'm not doing that. What if I don't like it?
You know you'll like it. Shut up.
I know. Yeah, that's one of the main games. I mean,
when was the last time that Bungie put out a bad game? I mean, I'll say, I can't even say Halo 5 because I didn't play it. Or not Halo 5, 4.
Nobody's played Halo 5 yet,
yeah, buddy. No shit. 4, because I didn't play it. And what little bit I did play of it this, eh. But I mean, of the Bungie games that I played, whenever they started out that Halo franchise up through the third or fourth title, I really enjoyed, and I'm giving them the faith that they can start a new franchise and keep their sort of stylistic viewpoints in place to create another great franchise, and I'm sure that they're going to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I mean, the gameplay video looks
It's too big
awesome.
to fail. I did
It is Bank of America.
I did see an article that I guess it's like probably going to be the most expensive game in history to make.
Yeah,
I think
they're
it's like 500 million or something like that.
yeah, I bet. Yeah, I saw that too.
But
Between
you know, just like Grand Theft Auto, that they'll sell it in the first 2 weeks, no
uh,
problem.
see, I don't know
I know
because
they're not going to be console exclusive, or exclusive to one console rather. It's going to be on PS4 and Xbox One. So they're not going to have to rely on numbers for one console, kind of like Titanfall did. I mean, aside from PC, but the bulk of their sales seem to be on Xbox One. I think they're going to sell it, no problem. I don't think they're going to have any issue with that whatsoever.
but the thing that doesn't strike me as or I don't know how to say this, but Grand Theft Auto is a proven commodity. Destiny's not.
But Bungie is.
You say it, but Halo is a completely different animal
I completely
from
understand
Destiny.
that, but if you talk to people that played Halo, I think that was one of the reasons why people, whether it was the name association or actual gameplay, again, I didn't play 4, so I can't speak to it, but the general consensus is once Halo went to a Microsoft Studios title, that it completely reshaped the landscape and what that game actually was. Most people have more faith in Bungie than in just the franchise, so I think that's where they're going to sell units. I don't think Bungie's going to have any issue getting people on board with that title
No,
whatsoever.
and I'm not saying that I don't expect it to sell, because I mean it's going to sell because it's on PS4 and it's on Xbox and it's on PC too.
I don't know. I won't swear to it, but I'll check it out. Go ahead.
But I don't know. It won't sell like Grand Theft Auto did, and it's not. It won't sell like the definitive collection or whatever the definitive edition of Grand Theft Auto will. That was announced, wasn't it? That they're revamping Grand Theft Auto 5 for.
Also, it's supposed to. It looks like it's 360, PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. So not
Okay,
only is
they'll
it
make that
just,
money back.
yeah, they're not going to have any issue with that whatsoever.
No, but they won't. They won't sell at the same level. I don't think.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
No, but that being said, the gameplay footage that I saw from it was pre-alpha footage. It looked awesome.
Yeah,
It looked absolutely awesome. It completely contradicted this Kotaku article that I read where the guy was talking about how boring it was. I guess the guided demo that he was put through at, I don't know if it was at not CES, was it?
CE2E2. No, because that's the comic convention. Never mind.
No. I can't remember what the PAX East maybe. Or
Oh,
PAX
okay.
West.
Yeah.
One of those two. I think he got to play a guided demo. He was talking about how boring it was, and some of the people in the comments were like, "Well, you play a guided demo, you can only go so many places.
Exactly.
You can't do too much." And I mean, they don't want to show off too much. Like the big stuff probably isn't even polished and ready yet. Probably won't even be polished and ready for the beta, all that kind of stuff. There are a lot of variables in that game that are very interesting or very intriguing leading
Well,
into.
I kind of like that they went the opposite route of Titanfall. This is the last thing I'm going to say about gaming, and then we can move on. We haven't talked in so long, I feel like we could easily sit here and talk gaming the whole show.
There was another. Well, I got one more thing I want to talk about gaming before we finish, but.
Okay, well, all I was going to say was I think it's interesting that they're going to go a completely different route than what we've seen most developers do lately, which is stick to multiplayer-only game. That's their approach to fixing the problem of nobody playing the single-player campaign, whereas Destiny's like, you have to play to unlock the multiplayer, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, and that's all I'm going to say.
That is cool. What I was going to bring up is only just touch on it briefly, but we're what 3 weeks? 3 weeks away from probably your most anticipated title of the past 2 years that you've been so excited about that I don't feel like you're excited about anymore.
Watch Dogs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic. Everything I've seen and read still has me excited for it, but I'm not as sold on it blindly as I was with, say, like Titanfall. Like going into seeing things from Titanfall, is like I'm fucking in this game. This game looks incredible. But I'm seeing some things that have me skeptical of Watch Dogs. I'll wait and see on that one. That one's not one. However, it's kind of opposite of what I'm thinking for Destiny. Like Destiny, pretty sure I'm going to pick that up. Everything I've seen still got me on board. Watch Dogs has been kind of hit or miss, so we'll see. But I'm still optimistic for it. We'll see. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah. So I mean, those are really the only big. I mean, we have the only ones that they're really showing on the Xbox website are Watch Dogs, Elder Scrolls Online, which I played the beta on. Am I allowed to say that yet?
I think so.
Okay, I played the beta on PC. Was not a fan. It's just fucking World of Warcraft with better graphics. Project Spark, which I played the beta of too on PC, which is pretty fun.
That's one of those games that sounds better in concept than delivery because it really can kind of consume you, and that's what I've liked about Tower of Light and Titanfall so much is that I don't get sucked into and like I have to play every day in order to know what's going on. You know?
Yeah, and that's one of the things I enjoy about I pick up multiplayer games and I pick up sports games because they're so easy to pick and drop or pick up and drop, and
exactly.
and then the other two that they're really touting are Destiny and Sunset Overdrive. But one more thing I was thinking about, you say that with picking up titles, I was thinking about it the other day. Everybody complains about 17th pick and Manziel still hasn't drafted.
I hope Johnny Manziel doesn't get drafted.
Whoever gets him is gonna get a steal. I'll say that.
I guess I gotta be a hardcore Bills fan now, right?
Yeah, because Sammy Watkins.
Watkins and Spiller.
Yeah. What I was gonna talk about for a split second, we can actually transition to sports if you want, but was the fact that so many people complain about gameplay length, and like with Rise or with any of the new titles, like it's only 10 hours. It's like as an adult, as a working adult, that works for me. Like I've gotten to the point where that's like, what the fuck are these people doing?
Yeah.
Like these grown folks probably with wife and kids, and like they're complaining about not being able to play a game more than 10 hours worth of campaign.
Yeah. Like I may log 100+ hours in a game. However, I don't want to be forced to have to play that within, say, 200 hours total to make sure I know what's going on. Like I'll put in 100 hours over the course of a couple months, picking up a couple hours here, a couple hours there. But yeah, I can't do that, man. That long for one playthrough.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. It's I kind of realize that I kind of like that now as an adult. It's kind of nice, but. Man, fuck that. Whoever gets Johnny Manziel is going to get an absolute steal, I think, especially at this point. I think he's better than Blake Bortles. Blake Buttles.
Shit, I forgot. There's one more thing I forgot to mention. Did you hear about the Ruby and Sapphire reboot?
I did not.
Yeah, they're supposed to come out this November.
Okay.
So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Those are gonna be 2 more Pokemon games I do not play because the originals were terrible. 3rd gen sucked dick.
I enjoyed them, man.
That was your first time playing into Pokemon, wasn't it? Weren't you introduced through Sapphire and Ruby?
No, I had Red.
Okay.
I had 1st generation, didn't have 2nd, and then got back in on 3rd, and then and then I skipped 4th, and then got back in with the. I've played all the generations, but it's been like hit or miss. So I got 1st, 3rd, then the re-release of 2nd, then I never played like Diamond or whatever and Pearl.
Oh yeah, Pearl.
But then I got Black and White and X and Y. So.
Did those? I didn't even realize those came out. X and Y.
Oh yeah, man, those came out. Those came out the weekend I proposed to Amber. Remember?
Oh right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember you guys saying anything about those games.
That's because we burrowed into the mountains and played it for 5 days straight. No, I tried to get out of it, and then I inevitably got to that point, as I do with most of those games. If I'm not playing it regularly, in the middle of the story, I am in a random town and have no idea what town I need to go to next in order to continue the thing. That's one of my biggest complaints with those is I wish they had like an objective thing or
Well,
something to kind of guide you if you put it down for a little while.
it's weird because sometimes you'll come back to it, and sometimes there's a journal entry, and I don't know where the journal entry comes from and like what triggers it. But why can't this happen every time? No, I haven't played through one in a while. I still think the re-release of Gold and Silver were my favorites, but
Oh yeah, those were a lot of fun.
God, we had some great battles with those.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking
All right, so I don't have anything for sports. Did you have anything for sports aside from just talking about Manziel?
Johnny Football.
Johnny Football, that's it.
Johnny Football.
World Cup's coming up a little over
Yeah,
a
man.
month now, and we'll be sure to have a couple people on the show, some new guests. Maybe we'll get our buddy Ryan Mellick on here, and a familiar face, Daniel James, who is no longer with the company that I am with, but I talk to him regularly, and I miss you, buddy. So, yeah, we'll get them on, maybe do a World Cup show or something like that.
And then this weekend you have the final day of the English Premier League season, and
Oh,
it's
that's right.
yeah, it's a lot of stuff in the balance because I, it's crazy. Liverpool can win the title on Sunday if Man City lose, but that's probably not likely. So, which sucks for me, but oh well. The last two games I've watched have just been absolutely heartbreaking. They gave up a 3-0 lead against Crystal Palace on Sunday.
Ugh.
Or no, Monday. Yeah, they were trying to because the scenario was Liverpool and Man City were even on points, and they're both at 80 points, and Liverpool were behind. They're behind them in the stand. They were behind them in the standings because the goal differential. They were Man City had them by like 9, so they scored 3, and then they just kept trying to score and score and score, and they ended up just burning themselves out, and ended up giving up 3 goals in the last like 15 minutes of the game.
Of course.
Yeah, so that sucks. And go Pacers. That's all I have to say. Suck it, Atlanta. Shocking the world, my ass.
God, that's so great. So Saturday, this past Saturday was Free Comic Book Day. Both of our firsts. Last year I was out of town, and so this year we got together. We went up to Criminal Records, which was cool. What were your thoughts about Free Comic Book Day?
I was kind of shocked. Just like I was thinking it was like when I saw the little limit, like limit 1 per customer. I was like, oh, you just grab which one you want. I guess one of them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like no, grab any of the 40 different titles you want. Just grab one of them. It's only one of them. But no, it's cool. I've honestly not opened up. I've opened up one, and then I just haven't gotten around to reading it.
I think that's the problem with Free Comic Book Day is that you get anything with for free, really, you just don't ever enjoy it as much because it's fucking free. Who cares? I've got it now. What
No,
I?
I'll get around. I'll get around to it.
I read that Guardians of the Galaxy book. It was okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan. I guess it was really 3 books in one, so it had like a couple pages from 3 titles. So it had kind of what's ongoing in Guardians of the Galaxy right now. A little bit of what's going to happen in the new Thanos book that's coming out at the end of this year, and a little bit of some weird Spider-Man story of like Spider-Man through the ages or something like that. So
Was it Spider-Man 2099?
no, I don't think that was it.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
But speaking of Spider-Man, we did also for Free Comic Book Day we went and saw Spider-Man 2. So what were your thoughts?
At the time or right now?
Which is more relevant?
Probably right now.
So lay it on me.
Okay, so I guess to lead into that, I need to tell you that I enjoyed it whenever I watched it.
Yeah.
And
And then you got on the internet, and then it made you hate it.
No, it just no. Because if that were the case, I would have hated it going into it because all I saw were terrible things about it.
Yes.
I don't know. Just the more the time passed, like I don't know that I'm intrigued to go watch it again.
I can see that. I definitely think the first one of those 2 was significantly better than the second. And I agree. I enjoyed it when I watched it. I thought it was a great theater movie for what it was. But I don't see myself like going back to rewatch it like you're saying. However, I am excited to see Sinister Six movie. So I don't really know what to think because in some aspects I think that's probably what the worst part about this movie was that it was trying to take on too much to set up that Sinister Six movie, that it kind of lost some of the focus and the things that I really, really enjoyed about the first movie don't exist in this movie. Like seeing Peter Parker's interaction with other students and going to school and being sort of uh, quirky teenager, like that's just got these abilities and stuff like that, and kind of, I mean, it was an origin story, but in a lot of ways it was defining like what any normal, rational thinking teenager would do if they got those abilities. Like, I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and that's one of the things that kind of got lost in the mix with them setting up so much stuff with the Sinister Six in this movie, is that they really just focused on the Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker relationship, and not so much on just like Peter Parker, Spider-Man being Spider-Man. But whenever Spider-Man was on the screen, it was a really great joy to watch. Like, I think seeing him fly through the city and the fight sequences and stuff were all really well done. But I agree. I don't think it was something that I'm clamoring to see again. You know.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the fight with Electro. I must say it was a little. I hate to say predictable, but it was a little predictable. A lot of the CGI seemed to be off. I don't.
Well, my problem, and I said it after we watched it felt very much, oh, this is going to be the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game. Like, this is a cutscene and very distinct things that are going to fall into place in a video game. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to attack you this way, and he's going to light up the buildings and talk through the buildings.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to go around in a circle or whatever.
Yeah, it very much was a boss battle.
That's exactly what it felt like. But I'll say that his first encounter with him, like in the street, was one of my favorite like fight sequences in a movie. So I thought I thought it was good. But I also agree with what you were saying. I think the thing that irritated me the most was just how blatantly obvious. Like, Sony, we get it. You're making this movie. You don't have to throw Sony Vios and Sony phones and Blu-rays in our face every time we turn around.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. The level of, we talk about it all the time, the level of in media advertisement that goes on and like TV and stuff. This was way, way worse. Because like with White Collar, Ford doesn't make the show.
Exactly.
I mean, Sony made that movie.
Exactly.
We get it. Yeah, we get it. No, going back to what you were talking about, no high school interactions, no Flash Thompson, not even a single mention of Flash wasn't back. There's not a single mention of Venom. Which I'm hoping. My hope was that the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, the Flash Thompson being in it, that it's gonna be that version of Venom, but there was no mention of him, nothing in the second movie. And like you were saying, they went from high school graduation to start the movie, not like a peep from his college. Like, they don't even talk, like, no college interaction at all outside of Gwen being super genius again. It's just I can work the power grid. Yeah, I know how to reset it. There's a big ass box with a lock that says reset.
Exactly.
Pretty sure.
Don't need any codes for that or anything. You mean anybody can just walk in there and just
bolt cutters just
that's
pop it off, and at least she didn't like go and fashion up magic antidote out of nowhere like with the.
Trying to think of other topics we can do, because as we like to on Banter Podcast, we try to talk about these movies without spoiling them for any of you guys. And in that fashion, I guess some of the stuff I wanted to talk about was kind of your thoughts on the things that people were most, against or opinionated about, as they are with all movies before they come out, are the visuals. And so what were your thoughts on Electro, Goblin, and most importantly, Rhino?
Oh God, Rhino. That was I think with all of what we've said having been said, the biggest mistake that Mark Webb made was putting Rhino in that movie. And
do you mean like putting him in a movie, or putting him in that movie the way he did?
with Paul Giamatti playing him, putting him in any movie.
I think that was. I'll agree. I think I said that after too. Is that
It,
Paul Giamatti's accent was probably what killed that movie for me the most.
and it's funny, and I'll give you credit because you're always so patient. You always tell me to be so patient with castings, but this is the one where I get to finally say that I told you so. That he'd be a fucking terrible Rhino.
Yeah.
He's short. He is not the Russian they made him. He's just, it was terrible. I thought the suit looked really stupid too.
Oh, you didn't like the suit?
No, I was not a fan of the suit at all. I guess I'm partial to the animated series, where it's just a fucking skin tight Rhino suit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like they seem to be going far more like military
Yeah.
weaponized turn on the villains than sort of mutants essentially. So.
In terms of Green Goblin, I was disappointed at who he was.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. I wasn't a big fan of. I'm trying to remember what the guy's name is. Dane Kanan that played him. I thought he was fantastic as Harry Osborn. I didn't think. I was not a fan of the way they did Green Goblin. I don't know if it was the visuals, the makeup, or something, but
Is that Green Goblin or is that Hobgoblin?
that's Green Goblin. Hobgoblin's like
I thought Green Goblin was supposed to be
Norman.
Norman. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I was disappointed at who it ended up being because it wasn't Norman Osborn.
Oh.
They killed him.
So Harry Osborn, but Harry Osborn is Hobgoblin, right?
I don't
In the
think
comic
so.
books, he is.
No, well, it says the original Hobgoblin was Roderick Kingsley.
Oh
So,
shit! I am just probably sound like an idiot. I'm sure
well,
JP is like cringing right now.
no, I think he was Hobgoblin at one point, but
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
I'm not positive. Yeah, Hobgoblin's the one they throw. They both throw pumpkins, right?
There's a bunch of goblins, right?
I don't know. Maybe it was. Was he just Goblin in this movie, or was he Green Goblin? Because he did.
I don't know.
I was so surprised because
Here I was trying to be like sensitive to what we were calling him, so that I didn't step on any toes, and I think I've ended up stepping on far too many now. So I'm just gonna backpedal out of this conversation.
yeah, but I think that was the one villain out of the three that didn't blatantly say I'm Electro. And I'm the Rhino. It's just like he's the only one that wasn't like I'm Goblin. I'll look it up right now on IMDb and tell you. No, he's Green Goblin. Harry Osborn is Green
Okay.
Goblin. He's billed as Green Goblin. It's kind of stupid. I thought, Green Goblin's supposed to be Norman, but apparently there's apparently a cut scene that was cut at like a after credit scene that was cut out. That was on the cutting room floor that I don't know if I want to say what it was, but well, I mean, Norman Osborn dies pretty quickly in the movie, so I guess it's not that big of a deal if I say it. But apparently there was a screenshot of a cutscene where it looked like Norman Osborn's head was inside, like preserved inside of a jar inside of the end, like inside of Oscorp.
Mm.
So it's almost like it didn't. That just didn't make it into the movie. So
According to the Wikipedia, he becomes the new goblin. So he is a goblin of some form, but not Hobgoblin. That was probably
yeah.
offensive.
You offended so.
I'm sure I did. I'm sure I'm going to catch shit for that. So find me on Twitter.
This guy's talking about a big Hobgoblin.
What a fucking terrible podcast! I'm one star.
I'm turning them into Marvel. I'm gonna turn them in right now.
So I guess
I'm Electro.
So I guess the first comic book movie of the summer though was Winter Soldier. We didn't really talk about that during the hiatus. So I guess we'll turn the page onto that, and then we'll talk about our most anticipated movies coming up. I guess. So thoughts on Winter Soldier?
Best Marvel movie ever made.
Shut up. Really? You think so?
Yes. I think without a doubt, if you talk about a complete movie from start to finish and just entertainment and story, I thought it was fantastic. I think I'll backpedal.
I'm inclined to agree with you because I don't know how much the nostalgia factor of Iron Man is weighing over my
I,
head.
I
The
was I
first
was
one.
gonna say the same thing. Is that I don't know that I
Because I haven't watched it in so long, I very
yeah
well may go back and watch it and be like, what the
I'm a
fuck is this?
I'm a fan of Iron. I'm one of the few fans of Iron Man 2, and that to me that movie still holds up. So I'm assuming that Iron Man 1 holds up.
Aside from Mickey Rourke. That,
I
that
don't.
may be worse than Paul Giamatti. The
No,
spray
no, no,
paint,
no, 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 no,
dude,
no,
the
no.
spray painted pectoral muscles and six pack that he's got on it.
Okay, maybe I'll give you a
That
chance.
they blatantly are like trying to cover up throughout the entire movie. Like every scene where you see him, he's got his shirt unbuttoned or his shirt off. They've got a conveniently placed wine glass or candelabra right in front of him.
Wait, what's it blocking? Tattoos?
No, he's got so Mickey Rourke's what, like 60 years old, so he doesn't have a chiseled frame anymore, and so they spray painted, like body painted his muscles on essentially, and you can see it in a couple scenes if you're really looking for it, and it's pretty obvious throughout the movie that they're covering it up, and that was one of the biggest things that irritated me.
Okay, I could see that. No, I still
Also,
liked
his
it.
accent, Jesus Christ!
I, I will say he didn't talk as much. I don't know. He didn't talk that
I
much, but
want my bud.
but yeah, yeah, it was kind of bad. I'll give you that. But I'll give you that. I still enjoyed that movie more than
I
Amazing
no,
Spider-Man
I
2.
agree. I think it's a similar to Spider-Man 2 in that fact, and like I enjoyed it at the time, but I haven't gone back and rewatched it. However, I have gone back and watched the first Iron Man several times. So
I should I be ashamed to say that I own Iron Man 2 on Blu-ray?
nah.
And then I've watched it plenty of times because that to me that movie I love Sam Rockwell in that movie.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
as
Speaking of
in pretty
which,
much every movie. The Way
what?
Way Back.
Yeah, I watched Way Back a couple weeks ago, and that was fucking life-changing experience for me.
It's so good, man. I hope
Yeah.
that Jim Rash and Nat Faxon keep making
Well, you
movies.
know that he's got a new show coming on
The Writers
FX.
Room.
No,
Oh
no, no,
no,
no, not Jim Rash.
Nat Faxon.
Matt Faxon, yeah. He's got a show coming out called Married, I believe, on FX. I saw the trailers during the new episodes of Louie. It looks pretty funny though.
Okay, I'll watch that for
Yeah,
sure. I love Nat Faxon.
yeah,
And Jim Rash. They're both awesome. That movie, we watched that over Christmas break, I think, and I think it was us and my parents, and it was just it's an amazing movie.
yeah,
I'm so disappointed that it was not nominated for any Academy Awards, let alone win any. I thought Sam Rockwell's performance in it was
yeah.
just amazing. But
So
yeah,
before back to Winter Soldier before we get too far off track.
yeah. I thought everybody did a fantastic job in that movie. I think a lot of people like to say that Chris Evans isn't a very good actor. I don't know. I think he's a fine actor, and I think that he plays a good Captain America. I mean,
Yeah,
he is very, very prototypical white male, I guess.
yeah,
Well, I say that, but I think nowadays most white males are out of shape, and I proved that tonight. I perpetuated a lot of stereotypes on the soccer field tonight, playing with a lot of international people. But
Well, I started my morning out with steak AM crunch wrap
oh my God,
and and a sausage egg and cheese waffle taco. Because I ain't no bitch. If both are there, I'm eating both.
I ain't no bitch. Okay, well let's put a pin in that. We'll get to that in a second. What were your thoughts on the Winter Soldier?
I enjoyed it. I don't think. Again,
Better than Avengers?
I think it's definitely top three. I won't say best because it's a toss up if I have to say Iron Man, Avengers, and Winter Soldier for best. I can't. I mean, each one brings sort of something different to the table. I definitely had my issues with it. I think for the title to be Winter Soldier, I wanted to see a little bit more of Winter Soldier in it, at least the sort of fighting stuff. And I understand it goes with his mystique or whatever, but I mean, you and I had that conversation before that you can show him in action without showing him in action. You know, like it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be him fighting Captain America or whatever, but show me a little bit more than what we got. So I wish there was a little bit more Winter Soldier and definitely more Falcon in it. So
Oh, dude, how good was Anthony Mackie as
yeah, it was
Falcon? He
great.
was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I wasn't expecting too much from that character, but he delivered big time.
Oh
As did one George St. Pierre as Batroc the Leaper.
yeah.
Those fight scenes are pretty legit, though. Like, well, that fight scene was pretty legit, I think. But I liked it overall. Oh, you're talking about things that um, those three movies really bring to the table. One of them that the Avengers brought to the table was a 30-minute bore fest on top of or on board that ship that put me to sleep in the movie theater the second time I watched it. You know what doesn't have that? Captain America 2. I'm just saying. I'm.
I will come back with a rebuttal in several months whenever I watch it again.
Once it comes out on Blu-ray.
Because I am almost positive there is, but I can't think of it.
And one point that Raphael, buddy of ours, brought up was that once you get the twist and once you watch Captain America 2, you need to go back and watch Avengers and watch it with a new set of eyes, knowing what happens in Captain America 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with Hydra, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
have to check that out.
yeah, definitely. Most anticipated movies, top two for you this summer.
One comes out next weekend, and I'm hoping to go see it in IMAX. That'd be Godzilla, and the other one is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up for me. Well, actually, no, it's the exact same for me. But just to be different and to get chastised on the internet, I want to get banned from the internet for good tonight by saying that I am really, really looking forward to seeing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
I
movie.
am too, man. I was so excited when the trailer came on during the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
The way that they did Donatello looks fucking awesome.
I need to go back and look at that because I wasn't paying too much attention.
Yeah, they like gave him glasses and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be okay. I mean, I'm not gonna put my head out on the chopping block or whatever. What's the fucking phrase? But I think it's gonna be okay. I don't think it's gonna be nearly as bad as everyone's saying it's gonna be. I think it'll be totally, totally fine. So
yeah, and that's one of the things in saying that it's most anticipated movie, one of the most anticipated movies. I didn't say for good or bad. I mean, I am excited to see it, but I'm kind of excited to see it for the spectacle that it's going to be. So
exactly.
And I've always said that no matter what you could say bad about Michael Bay, you cannot. I defy you to say you've not been entertained at least at some point in every single one of his movies.
Exactly. So I'm sure it'll be fine, man.
The dude knows guys.
Yeah.
You guys need to fucking just trust the man and understand that he's using a lot of the studio's money to make you happy.
I think the biggest thing for me is just the Megan Fox is just a sore thumb. Not that she's playing April O'Neil. I don't give a shit. But that Michael Bay is associated with it, and it's like the biggest cliche to his latest Transformer titles, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna throw her in this too.
Well, I was actually having a conversation at lunch yesterday, 2 days ago, and Neil was saying that they butted heads. That's why she left the set of Transformers 2, and maybe this is like a makeup for that. So they made good, but yeah, she kind of sucks. But I don't expect April to be a huge part of the movie. I hope.
We'll see.
I mean, she was a minor part of the cartoons, but she played her role for sure. But is Casey Jones in it?
I hope not. I don't want him to stretch it too thin.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're gonna focus on Shredder for the most part.
Yeah, because
I'd rather them just build a solid base and then bring in Casey in the second one, if nothing else.
Because Casey starts off as a bad guy, right, and then ends up a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to see fucking God, what is his name? Slash. The bad Ninja Turtle clone.
Oh yeah. Not the metal one.
No, not the metal one from Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
No. The one where you go back in time in Turtles in Time, prehistoric days, and fight. He looks like a clone.
Yeah.
I want to say he's wearing like dark blue or something like that. He's got spikes all over his body and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet. God, what was the robot one's name? He had Michelangelo. He had an
I
orange
can.
bandana on.
I need to go dig all my DVDs out and rewatch it all from start.
Yeah,
So other than that, it looks like we're coming up on an hour, maybe a little bit more actually. So I think that's about all I got. What do you got? Anything? We'll try to get back on here a little bit more often, maybe. Uh,
yeah. So let's. I hope so.
we'll see. I mean, for those who don't know, Tim's been very busy with work, traveling a lot. I've been working on my exams, which everyone that I've talked to knows at this point. So that's that's really where we've been. But we've been thinking about you guys the entire time. So
Yeah.
thanks for checking us out. Thanks for coming back. I know it's been a while. Hopefully it's been fun. I know it has been for me. So we'll try to get back on here a little bit more regularly. And thanks for checking us out. If you do like the show, be sure to go throw us up a rating on iTunes. Never hurts. So thanks again for checking us out. Tim, where can they find you at on Twitter?
You can find me at Tim Herb, TimHerb.
And you find me at the_ARC1TECT. Thanks again, guys. Be sure to stick around. Eventually, there will be a new episode of the Banter Podcast.
Bye bye.